Good day, ladies and gentlemen, out of our studios here in Munich, Commodity TV for you today. And with me here is a very well-known interview partner, Amir Adnani, the founder and chairman of Brazil Resources. And yeah, of course, we want to talk about the company, about Brazil and the latest developments. Amir, welcome.
Yeah, good to be in Munich with you.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time. And yeah, your company is already well-known, but anyway, we want to talk about it now. What is Brazil shortly about? Where are you located? What are you doing?
You know, we've been spending the last 6 years building this company, and our focus has been in acquiring resource stage gold projects in Brazil, first and foremost, as the name suggests, and really focusing on advancing our projects. Our flagship project, São Jorge, is at a resource stage. We feel it's a project that, as we advance it with permitting and engineering, can become a very competitive project compared to other development stage opportunities.
How many ounces do you have so far?
So we have 700,000 ounces in the indicated, just over 1 million ounces in the inferred. The grade that's used in the indicated category or reported is about 1.54 gram per ton for near surface mineralization and resource. So it would be
open pit, of
a
course.
Potential open pit down the road. We have also, since last summer, acquired a very large project in Alaska, the Whistler project, and we've had some good results in terms of producing 3 different 43-101 resource reports over the last 9 months, and also just in the last 60 days. So it's given us really a resource space that, when you look at it, we have almost over 3 million ounces in indicated, 7 million ounces in inferred.
That's
gold
a lot.
only.
Yeah.
So we're quite happy about the fact that after 6 years of hard work, we've really got to a place where we have a very strong and large resource space in the company.
Fantastic. Let's dive first into the Brazilian properties, I would say.
Yeah.
São Jorge, you already mentioned. Where are you in Brazil? I think it's the Pará state, is that correct?
We're in Pará state, and just before we talk about Pará state, I think it's important to highlight 2 things one about the company and one about Brazil. You know, we have a very important partner in our company, our Brazilian partner, at one of the most prestigious investment groups in that country, called Brazil Invest. They're based in Sao Paulo. They've completed over $16 billion in investments in that country. So that's the kind of partner you want to have.
So well-known, well-respected?
Not only are they well-respected, but in their 30-year history, we are the first and only gold company that they've invested in. And the chairman of this bank, Mario Garnero, sits on our board of directors. Secondly, this is an ideal time for gold in Brazil, because the Brazilian real has devalued such that the price of gold in Brazilian real, the Brazilian currency, is almost at a 10-year high right now. And so ultimately, this is why we're seeing major mining companies, mid-tiers, are all coming into Brazil now, looking at taking advantage of the big gold potential, but also the currency devaluation. And yes, we are in Pará state, which within a region of Pará state that is the biggest and largest alluvial gold mining district. Now we're drilling where the artisanal miners mined at surface. We're looking at the potential beneath the surface, beneath the first 20 meters. And that's why we're in this part of Brazil, in Pará.
Are they still there, those garimpeiros, what they are called?
We're quite fortunate that we don't have any artisanal miners on our São Jorge project, and that's a very important question. You know, mind you, it just makes the licensing process down the road more straightforward. Really, the other benefit of being in Pará state is the very low, in fact, the lowest corporate tax rate that exists in Pará state, 15%, compared to over 30% in other Brazilian states. So this is the right address to be in Brazil.
Okay, great. São Jorge is obviously the most important property, I would call it, and it's very well advanced so far. As you said, 15% is the tax rate. Do you have any NSRs or anything on the property in addition?
There's a very modest amount of NSR on the project, but in fact it now belongs to a very important institutional investor, a group out of Denver called Uranium Mine Finance that, as the name suggests, specializes in mine finance.
So maybe they have thought before they did it?
I think it's an important vote of confidence in the project that a group that is obviously oriented to be able to deploy large sums of capital for project financing has taken an early interest at the project level in São Jorge. is something that we think is a very important signal. And at the same time, it's real dollars. I mean, they spent a couple of $1 million cash to acquire that interest. So they're sending a strong message in my mind with that investment. So, even when you look at the amount of drilling that has been done on the project, there's over 140 diamond drill holes that have been completed, metallurgy work that has been completed showing over 90% recoveries. Just the replacement value of this work would be easily over $40 million US dollars worth of work. So you look at the total package, and it's a very robust project.
And you did also in 2013 some economic studies on that, right?
Well, it was actually done by the company that we acquired the project from. So we do consider that a historic PEA at this point. But it's quite instructive to be able to look at the fact that the project has been advanced through a historic PEA, that engineering work has been done. And again, there's more rigorous analysis that gets completed with a study like that increases the confidence in the project. So we look to obviously update this type of work down the road. And again, I think when you compare the realities of doing business in Brazil today, you're talking about the price of oil being half the price it was in 2013. The Brazilian real having devalued so much, almost 100%. Steel prices down, labor's down. So again, why it's quite attractive to look at advancing gold projects in Brazil.
Fantastic. So that means to me, if we go a little bit forward, let's look maybe 2-3 years in the future, you might be in the position to bring that into production, right?
I just think that, and our company believes that we have a really good shot here with our São Jorge project. We do have 4 other projects in Pará State, so we also have a pipeline of opportunities there. I think we've taken a very disciplined approach towards Brazil. Yes, we have a very influential partner in Brazil Invest that can help us navigate the whole country, but we've been disciplined to focus on one state, one style of mineralization, open pit mining. And so this is all lending itself to synergies that makes it more realistic that we could really advance São Jorge as a near-term production opportunity, but also have a pipeline of projects, be it our Cachoeira project, Boa Vista, or Sorobim. These are all projects that have 43-101 resources. In all categories, we have just under 4 million ounces of gold resources in Pará State. And for that reason, I think this is a very substantial portfolio.
Yeah, perfect. And obviously, you have the partners which are in a position to help you to develop them further.
Yes,
I mean,
exactly.
They have deep pockets, they have the knowledge, they have everything you need. Okay, let's move from Brazil up to Alaska. How did you came on Alaska? I mean, first of all, it's very cold compared to Brazil, but I would presume the quality of the projects you acquired is so far outstanding. Please elaborate a bit.
Yeah, I think while we have had a very disciplined approach to look at how we can approach Brazil and everything we just talked about. At the end of the day, we're also a very opportunistic group. Insiders in the company, including myself, own a third of the company. This is, again, something that
strong
really
commitment.
aligns us with equity holders, strong commitment. But as a result, we're also opportunistic about where we see the ability to create value. And I really believe that how you create value in the resource business and when you buy assets is really how much you pay for assets. If you're able to buy assets at the bottom of the cycle, you can really leave a lot of room for things to get better and to realize greater value for those assets as things improve. Last summer, in retrospect, I mean, we didn't know that was going to be the bottom of the cycle. It looks like perhaps in retrospect, that was a very nasty episode last summer when Greece was looking at exiting. Gold looked like they might go to $900. And so there was a lot of blood on the street. And we felt it was the right time to go elephant hunting, where you can buy big resources. What we acquired with the Whistler project in Alaska. It's a project that had $50 million of work completed on it, 70,000 meters of drilling. That's a 170 square kilometer area, so it's very big. And when you look at the total resources today, gold only, there's just about 6 million ounces of gold in terms of total resource established in all categories. And again, I refer your subscribers to our website and information on all the 43-101 details. But to me, those are once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. I have a lot of experience operating and permitting in the United States. So Alaska is the jurisdiction within the U.S. where we understand the various requirements to do business there. And my background there is obviously, as you know, with uranium energy. So we felt comfortable with the jurisdiction. There's producing mines in Alaska, development stage projects in Alaska. So it's a right address, elephant country. And more importantly, the right time in the cycle to make our acquisition there. And since then, we've shown that we can add to it. We've, as I mentioned, established 3 different 43-101 reports there. And so we're also showing our ability to add value and take these projects forward.
That was probably one of the reasons why the stock moved so nicely up in the last months, right? I mean, you really added value.
Yeah,
right?
and we've really increased the fundamental value of the company with these acquisitions and then what we've done subsequently. Of course, there's a bit of a perfect storm with the rise in gold price. The environment out there overall is like we've never seen it before for gold right now, notwithstanding also the latest developments with Brexit. But the combination of all these factors and the scarcity value of quality and big resources in the ground. There's a scarcity factor because the last 5 years, as you know, has been very difficult for junior companies to spend money, find new discoveries. In fact, discoveries are almost at a 10-year low, both for majors and juniors. So I think we're in a very strategic position that we're in 2 very good jurisdictions, Brazil and the United States, with large quality resources that could be advanced as the gold price continues to climb.
Yeah, absolutely. But this leads me to my next question, of course. What might be a possible game plan for you then? I mean, on the one hand, you can say, okay, maybe we bring that with partners in production, or maybe you say, like with Carminac and Goldcorp, which are like, I wouldn't call it neighbor, but we have Alaska here and Yukon there, so it's quite similar, you know. So are there any thoughts by you and the management, what maybe to do with that?
We have a lot of options, but we're quite clear about our business plan. Our business plan is to continue advancing our projects that have the greatest near-term viability. Viability is really in Brazil with our São Jorge project. We're advancing these projects. We have the capital to be able to continue moving forward. We had a very successful capital raise in March that was 3 times oversubscribed. And so the company is in the right balance sheet position, of course, no debt. We're quite fortunate, again, that we've managed to attract the likes of Brazil Invest, the likes of Sprott Asset Management, you know, big institutional investors that collectively own almost 35% of the company today. So the right capital partners are behind us and are involved with the company. And we still have an eye on acquisitions. We still believe that while there's been a nice recovery in the price of gold since the beginning of the year, using a baseball analogy, or so to speak, you know, we're in the first inning. We're in the very early stages, in our view, of a multi-year bull market here. And so we like to keep an eye on acquisitions. We feel that the existing projects give us a fantastic base to be able to develop from. And it's a 1-2 punch.
Fantastic. You touched shortly capital and the capital raise. How much money is in the bank and how long will it last?
Yeah, so basically we have just under $7 million of cash approximately. Right now, based on our current projected burn rate, I mean, that is sufficient very easily into the next 18 months or so, and perhaps even beyond that. But of course, as things evolve, we may develop new budgets and see how we can expedite the development of certain projects. But really, we're in a very good cash position right now in terms of our funding needs for the next 18 months, or again beyond that. The liquidity in the company and in the stock has really also shown that we're starting to become a name that investors, our strategy resonates with the investors. We've seen the liquidity in the stock go from 100,000 shares a day to 1 million shares a day. So clearly, the execution that we've had, the increase in the fundamental value of the business has received the right response and is starting to get traction with the market.
Perfect. We were talking now all the time about your gold properties, about Alaska and Brazil, but you have I would call it uranium option.
Yeah, uranium, it was more like a uranium surprise back in 2013, where we, as you're familiar, we acquired a gold company back in 2013 that had at the time a non-core project, a uranium project, in, of all places, Western Athabasca Basin, where there's been some tremendous new discoveries there.
Like fission, next gen, etc.
You got it. So between 2013 when in 2013 we were sitting next to maybe $150 million of market cap. Today we're sitting next to over $1 billion of combined market cap of all the companies that are active in Western Athabasca. It's been, for Athabasca and for uranium exploration, it's been a very exciting development. We're lucky that we end up with a project there that already comes with a partner in the form of Areva, the major French nuclear company. They own 25% of the RIA project, and we own 75%. The project has already seen $10 million of exploration, including drilling. What's very unique about this play is that it completely surrounds Areva's high-grade Maple River deposit that they own 70% of and Cameco owns 30% of. So we're in a neighborhood where we're hanging out with some big boys, where either Cameco is our partner or we completely surround Cameco and Areva at Maple River. I think this is something that we don't necessarily intend to drill and develop with Brazil Resources, because Brazil Resources is focused on gold, but it becomes a great optionality that perhaps we can spin out into a new company and give our exposure to uranium to our shareholders through this mechanism.
Like a stock dividend or whatever.
Something like that. I think that's yet to be determined. Of course, right now we feel that we have time on our hand because the uranium prices are, I believe we'll have a recovery towards the end of this year and into next year. So there will be even a better window with an improvement in uranium prices to monetize this project. So it's just a nice situation to have in our hands and be able to capitalize on it at the right time.
Perfect. So we can call it like another option to make money for the shareholders.
Yes.
Is that right? Super.
I think that's nice.
Great. Thank you, Amir. Perfect. Thank you very much for this overview. I think a very compelling story and very interesting. And we keep fingers crossed. Pretty sure we will soon have some good news from you.
Thanks for the time.
Thank you very much, Amir. Ladies and gentlemen, it was Amir Adnani, the founder and chairman of Brazil Resources. Well, you heard it. The company is fully funded, almost $7 million in the bank. The last private placement was 3 times oversubscribed, also not normal in markets like we had some 3-4 months ago. And it's a perfect gold play with in Brazil with São Jorge, maybe in 2-3 years in production. They have the right partners on their hand. And also in Alaska, they just published a fantastic 43-101 resource. And the company altogether has well over 10 million ounces straight gold forward with a nice uranium option in the Athabasca Basin. So check out the company. Thanks for watching us. Bye-bye from Munich.